President Erdogan of Turkey, says that President Putin is playing with fire. This has got very nasty very fast.
It's been nasty for centuries, actually, Claire. I'm not trying to be glib here, but there is literally a centuries-long legacy of rivalry and mistrust and even wars at various times going all the way back to the Ottoman sultans and the Tsars. And this is another manifestation of that long, long rivalry flaring up anew, this time over the unfortunate incident involving this Russian jet. But it is very nasty. First of all, the rhetoric is nasty and really furious on the Russian side, especially. We've had Putin calling Turkey accomplices of terrorists. We've had the Turkish embassy in Moscow pelted with eggs and paint and all sorts of things. We've had, as you just said, the accusation that Turkey is basically complicit, profiting from the sale of oil from the Islamic State. We've even had a nationalist politician, Vladimir Zhirinovsky, in Russia, basically saying, and he's known for his buffoonish, he's almost thought of as a clown, by saying, yeah, they should just drop a nuclear bomb on the straits around Turkey, on the Bosporus. The waters would rise 10 to 15 meters, and everything would be over and done with. Obviously, that is an extreme, extreme statement, but there's been a lot of bashing of Turkey in the Russian state media, and it's not going away. And on the Turkish side, Erdogan's been giving as good as he gets in many ways. He's called Russia a supporter of the terrorist state of Bashar Assad, because let's remember both sides support different people in this conflict, i.e. Turkey does not support Assad as Russia does. And you've also had, obviously, Russia slapping a lot of restrictions on food imports, telling its tourists no longer to go to Turkey. 4.4 million Russians went there last year. It's not going away anytime soon. If there's any silver lining on this, neither side wants escalation. They don't want a war to come out of this.
Now, these two leaders might be very critical of each other, but some observers say that they have a lot in common.
They have a lot in common. Listen, both of these leaders, let's just do the checklist. They both have sought and to varying degrees have been successful in consolidating power. Remember, Putin had a little bit of time out of the presidency when he was prime minister, came back as president. Erdogan was prime minister, now has fashioned himself in a new role as president. Both have had to overcome at times some pretty staunch, small but staunch opposition movements, to various degrees, putting them down, crushing dissent, the critics would say, in very unsavory ways on both sides. And both of them, and this goes back to the historical rivalry I was talking about. Both of them sort of see themselves as the sentinels, the sort of standard bearers of these faded, glorious empires. In Erdogan's case, the Ottoman Empire. We talk a lot about Turkey's ambitions, at least at various points over the past decades, to perhaps reclaim the glory of the Ottoman days before the collapse after World War I of the Ottoman Empire. And Vladimir Putin, at times, about a decade ago, calling the collapse of the Soviet Union one of the greatest geopolitical tragedies of the 20th century. And going further than that, he's always saying he will protect Russians wherever they are in the so-called near abroad, that is not in Russia, but in places where Russians were left stranded after the collapse of empire. So you have a lot of similarities between these men. They both like power, and most importantly, neither likes to lose a fight. They don't like backing down. They hate losing face.